Can you tell us what's happening now that these arrests have gone down?
Yeah, word's traveling fast. You can feel the shift. People are scared, not just because of the arrests, but because it's finally sinking in that this isn't just a conspiracy theory. It's real. And a lot of folks, they were working on these operations without knowing the full scope. They were told it was weather testing, climate intervention, you name it.
You're saying they didn't know they were part of something this dark?
Exactly. Compartmentalization. You only see your piece of the puzzle. But now, people are connecting dots. And after those two contractors were taken in, the fear hit hard.
We know that the chemicals that they're spraying from the air aren't bad for us or the planet.
The good news is we've been doing this since the 1940s and 50s. Other countries do it, and there have been a lot of research projects that have shown that the silver iodide, for example, is not found. It's negligible.
With Kristen Megan, she's a military veteran, right?
Yes, I was in the U.S. Air Force for 9 years.
Wow. And you came out and blew the whistle on geoengineering, things that you witnessed were going on. Can you give us the real nutshell?
Absolutely. Basically, I had heard of what many people know as the term chemtrails. And I worked in a job called bioenvironmental engineering. And I thought that was insane. And why would we do something like that? Modify the weather by using hazardous materials in our atmosphere? And actually the process of trying to debunk it or disprove it, I realized it was actually coming right out of my office, as I was one of the people that was approving the chemicals. And it really shook the core of my oath. And I did a lot of sampling, did a lot of investigation, and I blew the whistle and I got out. And I've now used my credentials, my oath, and my powers for good to help people understand it's very real. It's now openly admitted. There are multiple forms of weather modification. I specifically found the one of stratospheric aerosol injection.
What kind of chemicals are they putting out that rain down on humanity, basically?
Nanoparticulate metals, like we had different sulfates and barium and strontium. I know it's probably changed over time. I know they use silver iodide for certain things, but these are the odd part of it was the quantities that I saw them coming in, the form that they were coming in. And it's the same type of materials that I was trying to engineer out of the workplace to substitute with safer materials. And when you notice that what's called the safety data sheet, the information about a chemical of what personal protective equipment to wear, how do you dispose of it, how do you pack it to ship it? When key information is missing, I ask questions, and my questions led to demonization, and I knew I found something I shouldn't have.
Phenomena of chemtrails. You know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time, and so that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting.